Welcome. Hope you had a good weekend. You're watching the NewsHour Agenda. I'm Padmaja Joshi. Today, the Prime Minister unveiled the national emblem on the roof of the new Parliament building. Before we get into the fight and the tutu meme that predictably has started over this, let me start with actually telling you what the emblem is all about. The familiar national emblem is going to be a study in being grand. 6.5 meters high and weighing 16,000 kgs. It is fully handcrafted by Indian artisans and is made of high purity bronze. That sheen you see, that's not paint, that's actual bronze which has been polished to that shine, and all of it handcrafted. This is one of its kind depiction of our national emblem anywhere across India. Over 100 artisans worked on this emblem over 6 months to ensure that both timelines and beauty were taken care of. Even the installation of the emblem itself has been a painstaking process, with it being installed 32 meters above upper ground level. The reason why I started by highlighting what went into making the emblem, because I wanted to underline that when you look at the sheer beauty, the workmanship, you would think that the first reaction of everyone to such a symbol of India could variously be pride or at worst indifference. Because after all, this is about the national emblem, not that of any one party or person. But, as is typical, its installation and its unveiling today was met with derision, criticism, and even anger. So what really are the charges that have been levelled? The first charge against the Prime Minister who unveiled the emblem is that he had no business doing it, because it is the Lok Sabha Speaker who should have been given the task as the head of the Lok Sabha. The second charge is that the Prime Minister is behaving like a dictator by steamrolling this project through. Third, that the BJP has been arrogant by not inviting anyone from the opposition to this function and basically killing federalism. And finally, that it's a violation of the Constitution.
See, Prime Minister Modi's entire approach to governance is that what he deems right is right. What you say in media, what people on the street says, what young people say, that, or what opposition party says, that is not of importance. He is ruling like a Shehzad, like a dictator.
The Congress party say that what is the need for a new parliament building and the old one should have been extended or modified. This is the most hypocritical stand that the Congress party can take, but it is not surprising.
So, was there a breach of protocol and propriety in not seeking the opposition party's presence? After all, the Lok Sabha belongs to everyone, not just the party in power, or is this sheer petulance by the same people who at the outset never wanted the entire Central Vista project, leave alone this emblem, to even see the light of day?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
All right, joining us on the debate, Gokul Chandran, political analyst, Dr. Nawal Kishore, national spokesperson of the RJD. We'll hopefully be joined by Dr. Shashi Panja, minister in charge of Women and Child Development and Social Welfare of TMC. Tushar Gupta, senior editor, Swarajya. My first question is to you, Shehzad Poonawala, national spokesperson of the BJP. Why wasn't the opposition there? Lok Sabha is for everyone. The emblem should have been for everyone.
First of all, thank you, Padmaja, for having me. And this is less about invitation and more about political frustration. See, today is a great day for our Lok Tantra, but those who believe in Parivar Tantra are at it again. Let me address these issues. First of all, you would remember that when the stone breaking ceremony or the ground breaking ceremony took place, the opposition was in fact invited and all of them boycotted that particular event. That is on record. Point number 2, today only the national emblem was being unveiled. The house has not been inaugurated. The Parliament House itself has not been opened up. And obviously at that program, everyone will be invited. But today's program, one other objection was that constitutional protocol wasn't followed. Padmaja, today you had the Prime Minister in the presence of the Lok Sabha Speaker and the Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha unveiling this national emblem. The same thing when it is done in Chhattisgarh, where the Chhattisgarh CM unveils the parliamentary, the legislative building, and the Bhumi Pujan is done, and the chief guest is Sonia Gandhi. That time it is constitutionally kosher, and today it is constitutional impropriety. And then the fourth objection they made was that, look, we don't need a new parliament building. That's what Sandeep Dixit said. Now, these are the same people who advocated for a new parliament building way back in 2012. They made all kinds of allegations. They said all kinds of things about the money being spent on it. They were rejected in High Court and Supreme Court. These sponsored petitions were rejected. They were fined. And today, when this entire thing is being taken forward in national interest, you once again have these people playing rajneeti over rashtraneeti. So my limited point is, this is not about invitation at all. They did it on vaccine. They did it on issues like surgical strike, Balakot airstrike. On every issue of importance, let me give you a final example. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Padmaja, is Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav a BJP program? Is it a program to celebrate icons of BJP? But not one single leader of the opposition has, for even courtesy's sake, celebrated Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. You check it out. Ask Gokul Chandran.
Okay, let me actually start by asking Dr. Nawal Kishore. Nawal Kishore ji, groundbreaking ceremony, boycott. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, boycott. पर यहाँ पे जहाँ पे बुलाया नहीं, यहाँ पे स्पीकर थे, डेप्यूटी चेयरमैन थे, प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे, यहाँ पे इंसल्ट है, बाकी सारी चीजें इंसल्ट नहीं है।
नहीं, क्या जो बातें कही गई हैं पूर्व में, उसका बदला लिया जा रहा है? क्या पार्लियामेंट का जो बिल्डिंग बन रहा है वो भाजपा के पैसे से बन रहा है? क्या वो उनका प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी है जो बन रहा है? दिस नॉट मैटर ऑफ दैट। आप इतना सिंप्लीफिकेशन करके मत बताइए। अगर पार्लियामेंट को बाय डेफिनेशन भी अगर देखेंगे तो लोकसभा, राज्यसभा और प्रेसिडेंट इज इंटीग्रल पार्ट ऑफ इट। अगर कोई फंक्शन होता भी है तो लिव एंड इफ यू टॉक ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, इट मींस गवर्नमेंट प्लस अपोजिशन, रूलिंग पार्टी प्लस अपोजिशन। when you leave out entire opposition in whatsoever circumstances, हमेशा बात रखने की जो परंपरा रही है, जो विपक्ष का बात रखने का परंपरा रहा है, वो पॉइंट बेस्ड रहता है, फैक्चुअल बेस्ड रहता है। आप उसको अगर अपने इज्जत पे लेते हैं, प्रतिष्ठा पे लेते हैं कि हमें ह्यूमिलिएट किया गया, हमारी बात नहीं मानी गई, आई थिंक दैट इज मिसलीडिंग। अगर इसको जोड़कर, जितना जोड़कर शहजाद पूनावाला ने दिखाया, यह दर्शाता है कि जो भाजपा की राष्ट्रनीति और राजनीति है वो दोनों इस तरह का नहीं है जिसको सेलिब्रेट किया जा सके।
डॉक्टर नवल किशोर, ये बताइए, आप कह रहे हैं कि आपको नहीं बुलाना, ह्यूमिलिएट करना है। दिस वाज अ डिलिबरेट अटेम्प्ट टू ह्यूमिलिएट यू।
नहीं, आप जो बात, जिस प्रिटेक्स्ट में आप बात कर रहे हैं कि आपने वहां विरोध किया, यहाँ विरोध किया, वहां बॉयकॉट किया, इसलिए आपको इनवाइट नहीं करेंगे, व्हाट डज दैट मीन? ये यही बतलाता है कि अगर हमारी बात नहीं मानेंगे ऑन एनी इशू, हम आपको...
No, so not on any issue, sir. On this issue, I want to ask, when the groundbreaking ceremony happened, why did you boycott it? Was it an attempt to humiliate the Prime Minister or the Parliament at that time, or Central Vista, or the government?
देखो, आप देखो, जिस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, जिस पृष्ठभूमि में ये बात कही जा रही थी, उस समय प्रायोरिटी, उस समय पूरा देश एक पैंडेमिक से दौर से गुजर रहा था। उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में कहा जा रहा था कि इतनी बड़े अमाउंट जो है वो अगर महामारी को रोकने के लिए किया जाए तो ज्यादा बेहतर होगा।
ओके, चलिए, अगर आज आपको बुलाया जाता तो आप जाते?
ये आप हाइपोथेटिकल क्वेश्चन प्राइम मिनिस्टर से पूछिए। जब उनकी बुलाने की
आपसे पूछ रही हूँ, स्टैंड तो आपको लेना पड़ेगा ना। अगर आज आपके पास एक चिट्ठी आती, कहते नवल किशोर जी आप आइए, आज अनवेलिंग है, आप जाते?
पद्मजा जी, ये बताइए कि अगर पार्लियामेंट की सीटिंग वहां पे होगी और पार्लियामेंट की बैठक होगी तो कोई क्या अपोजिशन पार्टी ये कहेगा कि नया पार्लियामेंट है और बना इसलिए नहीं जाएंगे?
बैठक की बात तो अलग बात की है। अभी जो ये सेरेमोनियल्स हैं उसमें तो ऑब्वियसली लोकसभा में आप जाएंगे, राज्यसभा में जाएंगे, बट सेरेमोनियल्स के लिए आप जाएंगे क्या? अगर
नहीं, सेरेमोनियल में जाने का सवाल तब आता जब बुलाया जाता ना। आपको कैसे पता कि नहीं जाएंगे?
इसे तो पूछ रही हूँ, जाते क्या आप?
नहीं,
आपकी मनोस्थिति क्या है? आज सुबह आप मन बना के बैठे होंगे ना कि अभी चिट्ठी आएगी, अभी हम जाएंगे, और फिर चिट्ठी नहीं आई, आपने कहा हो।
नहीं, वो तो मन की बात करने वाले से पूछे कि उनकी मनोस्थिति क्या है, कि क्या वही दिखना चाहते हैं पूरे देश में? जितना भी कंस्ट्रक्शन हो, जितना भी राजनीति हो, उसमें केवल मोदी जी
क्या है आपकी मनोस्थिति? शहजाद पूनावाला,
मन की बात है,
आपकी मन की बात बताइए।
हाँ, हाँ, मैंने नवल जी की बात ध्यानपूर्वक सुनी। उन्होंने एक वैलिड पॉइंट उठाया, मुझे उसको एड्रेस करने दीजिए। देखिए नवल जी, आज नए संसद भवन का इनॉग्रेशन नहीं हुआ है, ये केवल नेशनल एम्बलम का अनवीलिंग हुआ है, जो कि एक एग्जीक्यूटिव एक्ट है, पर फिर भी उसमें जो दोनों सदन के सचिव है, हेड है, उनको बुलाया गया। परंतु मेरा आपसे सवाल है, नए सदन भवन का आज आप अपनी पार्टी की ओर से स्वागत कर रहे हैं कि अच्छा है कि ये बन रहा है, क्योंकि अब तक आपकी पार्टी का स्टैंड था कि हम इसके खिलाफ है, सख्त खिलाफ है, वी विल डाई बट वी डोंट वांट दिस। आज आप ये स्टैंड बदल रहे हैं क्या? पद्मजा के शो पर कृपया करके पहले बता दीजिए।
नवल किशोर जी,
आज तो हमने नए सदन भवन का इनॉग्रेशन नहीं किया है, उसके लिए तो बुलाया जाएगा, पर आज आपने स्टैंड बदला है, उसका स्वागत करता हूं मैं आरजेडी का खुल के स्वागत करता हूं। पद्मजा, आपके शो पर ऑपोजिशन ने जो अब तक का बॉयकॉट था न्यूज पार्लियामेंट बिल्डिंग और सेंट्रल विस्टा का, उसको त्याग दिया है। पद्मजा जी, आपके शो को साधुवाद।
बॉयकॉट इज ओवर।
देखिए शहजाद पूनावाला जी, आपका ट्रेनिंग कंप्लीट हो गया है, फ्रॉम सेंटर टू राइट जो गए हैं वो आपका कंप्लीट हो गया। आप उस तरह की बात बोलना शुरू कर दिए हैं। मैं आपसे सिर्फ ये पूछता हूं कि बहुत सारा सवाल पूछते हैं ना, पार्लियामेंट की परिभाषा सुन लीजिए, लोकसभा, राज्यसभा एंड प्रेसिडेंट।
मैं तो हमेशा राइट पे था।
कि लोग सुन लीजिए, अरे पहले बात सुन लीजिए साहब, आप बहुत ज्ञानी हैं, मुझे मालूम है। जब से आप नागपुर के पाठशाला में पढ़ना शुरू किए, आपका ज्ञान एकाएक बढ़ गया है। मैं सिर्फ आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं कि अगर पार्लियामेंट का परिभाषा लोकसभा, राज्यसभा और प्रेसिडेंट है, तो फिर कम से कम प्रेसिडेंट को तो इनवाइट करना चाहिए। अपोजिशन को तो पद्मजा जी भी खारिज करती हैं कि अपोजिशन नाम का कोई चीज नहीं है इस देश में, केवल पत्रकार और मीडिया है और रूलिंग पार्टी है।
सर क्या बोल रहे हैं आप? यहाँ ऑपोजिशन के 4 रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स बैठे हुए हैं, बीजेपी का एक बैठा है, फिर भी आपने मेरे पे अनायास ही इल्जाम लगा दिया कि मैं खारिज करती हूँ। मैं खारिज करती होती तो 4 रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स को बैठा दी, क्या एक बीजेपी के खिलाफ? ये तो देखिए गलत है। आप एंटी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल बात कर रहे हैं। बट एनीवे, क्विक रिबटल फ्रॉम शहजाद पूनावाला, देन आई वांट टू ब्रिंग इन डॉक्टर शशि पांजा।
Padmaja ji, today was the unveiling of the national emblem on top of one of the एक एक करके एक सेंट्रल फॉयर के ऊपर जो नेशनल एम्बलम लग रहा है उसका अनावरण था। आज जो दोनों सदन के अध्यक्ष थे वो थे। क्या ये कहना चाह रहे हैं हमारे साथी कि जो दोनों सदन के अध्यक्ष है वो उनके सारे सदस्यों को प्रतिबिंबित नहीं करते? आज आपने अपनी इतना अविश्वास है लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं में कि जो दोनों सदनों के सचिव हेड है उनके अंदर भी आपको विश्वास नहीं रहा। अरे भाई साहब, this was not the inauguration of the full building. It was unveiling of a national emblem. There was Prime Minister from Government of India and from both houses, encapsulating both houses and the spirit of both houses were the chairs of both houses. और क्या चाहिए आपको? आप तो इसका विरोध कर रहे थे, आज स्वागत तो कीजिए।
Okay, do you at least welcome it, Dr. Shashi Panja? Principally, when you look at the emblem, do you feel happy? You approve? Appreciate?
Yes, of course we do feel happy because Shehzad ji just is saying that ये तो सिर्फ national emblem था, but national emblem is so very important to us. आपके लिए just ऐसा ही था, इतना भी तो हल्का नहीं है। Maybe the weight आपको मालूम है 9,500 kg है, लेकिन आपकी जो arrogance है, the arrogance weighs more. You know what is wrong? What would have happened? Would the skies have fallen if you had invited the opposition leaders or leaders from the opposition party? It's as simple as that. We also want to be part of it.
You want to be part of it, but Dr. Panja, yes. I want to remind you that in 2020, here is what a member of parliament in the Rajya Sabha of your party said. Why are we in the opposition criticizing Central Vista project? It's a very, very important project because Modi must have his peacock garden built next to his office and Shah must have a veranda next to his office for his 3 pet poodles. That is why the Central Vista project is needed. We, the silly opposition, want the 20,000 crores being spent on Central Vista to be used instead to vaccinate 80% of the people of India. Now, the thing is, in 2022, 80% of our population is also vaccinated. And today we've got something which you say you find very beautiful. Then do you think what you said in 2021 was ill thought out? It was an ill thought out criticism?
2 points, ma'am. Are you trying to say, Padmaja ji? Then, or are we to conclude that this was the reason? Because you opposed at that time, so this is the reason why we did not invite Are you trying to say that?
No,
Or
I am
are
trying
you
to ask
say, no,
that do you now
may I complete?
think in hindsight
May I
that
complete?
maybe your
May I
criticism
complete?
at
I have
the
not
time
completed. I
wasn't
have not
substantiated?
completed. I have not completed now.
Yes.
And the time when the opposition, as opposition, we didn't oppose because we wanted to oppose, because we were very worried during COVID times.
But do you
This
think
is
those worries were ill thought
what
out?
was the-
Because
So
clearly
what was
you thought it can
during
either be
COVID,
Central Vista
during COVID,
or it
you
can
did
be
not bother
80%
to look into
vaccination.
the supply of oxygen cylinders.
But
When
ma'am,
oxygen cylinders,
Ma'am, I am
we
asking
had
you a
the
simple
highest-
comparison. In 2021, you said Central Vista should be stopped because otherwise if Central Vista continues, 80% vaccination won't happen.
It's a question
In
of
2022
priority,
July,
ma'am.
we are sitting
It was
where
a
we have
question
more
of
than
priority.
80% vaccination and you have an emblem being inaugurated which you say looks
So,
beautiful.
sir, did
Do you think
invite
that
us?
criticism
Did
was
the government
ill-founded?
invite us? What was wrong in inviting us?
Because
You didn't invite, so Padmaja ji, we have to conclude that they didn't invite because we criticized you.
No,
that
I am not
instead of
saying that.
prioritizing
My
COVID,
very
you don't allow
simple
us to
question is,
complete.
ma'am,
You don't allow
do
us
you
to
think,
complete.
see,
I mean, you
first
don't
of all,
allow
I
us
don't
to
understand the
complete,
logic of wanting
You
an
are trying
invitation to something
prioritize
that you
Central
didn't like to
Vista
begin
over
with.
COVID management? Ma'am, are you trying to prioritize Central Vista over
Not
COVID
in the least.
management? And that was the only
Not in
plan.
the least.
I mean,
Here's the
what-
thing.
what-
I'm saying that
this is-
fundamentally, to
No, no,
think that one
fundamentally
needs
the
to
problem
prioritize
is
or one has
the-
to choose between Central Vista or vaccination was a false argument. I'm saying something completely
Ma'am,
different. It was
we
never
are
an
talking-
either-or project.
When
You'll
was
do
that-
vaccination and you will have Central Vista, and in 2022
Oh.
you see both has happened.
No. Both have happened. How many deaths were there? COVID deaths. You've forgotten the people who are dead. You've forgotten the bodies which were floating in the Ganges. You've forgotten the dearth of the oxygen
Then
cylinders.
making a really morbid argument, then in protesting that. So ma'am, using your own logic, since you said because of COVID Central Vista shouldn't happen, now you're saying our COVID handling was terrible, then you should anyway boycott the unveiling of the emblem.
The least you can do, Padmaja ji, is sympathize with those COVID deaths.
Ma'am, I have
What
all
you
the
said, we
sympathy,
missed all
but
the
that is a
milestones of
false
COVID
equivalence.
management.
I'm saying
Are you
your
aware
argument is that we failed in
No,
COVID
are you
management.
aware?
Then
Are
you
you
as the opposition
aware
party
that we
should be
missed
boycotting the
all the
emblem, saying we
milestones
do
of
not
COVID
want to go for this
vaccination?
inauguration
Are you
because our COVID
aware,
management
Padmaja
failed.
ji? No. Are you aware that we missed all the milestones of COVID vaccination? The ones, the targets laid out by the
Okay,
government of
Tushar
India?
Gupta come
We
in,
missed
but
all the milestones.
Tushar Gupta, respond.
You know, Padmaja, I've been listening for the last 15 odd minutes and it's very amusing because they are citing the constitution but they do not realize that the leader of opposition needs to have at least 54 odd seats which the Congress doesn't have. Nevertheless, I would sympathize with the Congress and the other opposition leaders here that they wanted to be a part of the unveiling of the national emblem today. But I also want to remind them that it was their party which said that Central Vista is a misplaced priority of a whimsical autocrat. At that point, they did not remember that Central Vista is for all the parties, all the legislative members for the two houses, which come from different parties, not just the BJP. At that time, they did not remember that the people working in the Central Vista are not just of the BJP, but a lot of civil servants who are in the service of the Indian citizens. At that time, they did not remember that there was enough literature in the public that cited the importance of having a new building, given the fire hazards in the current Parliament House. They called it a Modi Mahal. They called it Tughlaq's new capital. The presidential candidate of the opposition mocked the permission given by the Supreme Court while it dismissed all the petitions saying Bahubali ko kaun rok sakta hai. And today they are cribbing like a class 4th child on being not invited to a birthday party. Where is this hypocrisy coming from? Not once, Padmaja, not once did they appreciate the progress that was being made on the construction.
Okay, Dr. Shashi Panja, you want to respond to that analogy?
Through PILs
No.
and whatever the Delhi government was doing.
You bullied the class, that boy in class, and now when he has a birthday party, you want to be in the picture.
So now, Tushaji, for this is a birthday party for you, isn't it? This is all that you've understood of the Constitution. This is all that you've understood, that the Parliament
ma'am, you
belongs
are
to
a
the
class four
opposition.
crime
Tushar,
criminal.
may I complete?
The opposition
This is not a
equal into
close
a class
class 4
four
class, and
crime
this was not a
criminal.
birthday party. This was not a birthday party. and you don't know that the parliament belongs to the opposition.
Dr. Panja, let me ask you a straight question. This is like one of those exam subjective questions. Do you think that the central vista of which this emblem is a part is a symbol of democracy or a symbol of a whimsical autocrat? Choose between the two. Is it a vanity project of a whimsical autocrat, or is it a symbol of democracy of which the TMC is a part? Which one is it?
May I respond to Trushaji? Trushaji, if you think that the opposition is so decimated and so few in numbers, then what is the urge of passing ordinances when you have a forthcoming parliament?
Ma'am, again, with the greatest respect, we are going off tangent here. I have a very simple binary question for you. Ma'am, please indulge me for 30 seconds, 10 seconds in fact. Here are two options. Is the central vista a vanity project of a whimsical autocrat or a symbol of democracy of which the TMC is a part and it loves and respects? Which one is it? Which one is it?
Why don't you respect the opposition then? Why don't you respect the Trinamool Congress?
Ma'am, everyone respects. But do you find the central vista something that you love and respect, or you think it is Modi Mahal of a whimsical autocrat?
You are missing the point. We are doing a post-mortem of an event which has already been done by the Prime Minister, who did not even once think that the opposition should be invited. We are doing a post-mortem. The event is over. What we are just trying to say is, why doesn't opposition get its share of respect? Is it very wrong?
Ma'am, do you want a share of respect, or do you want a share of the publicity or a share of credit? What is it that you're seeking a share of?
Thank you, Padmaja ji. You nailed it. So Prime Minister did it for publicity.
No, I'm asking you.
Did all this for publicity. You just asked that our presence will be publicity and Prime Ministers would not be publicity.
But you still didn't answer my question. Do you find the central vista something to love and respect, or no?
No. Why don't you answer my question? Was the Prime Minister there for publicity?
Okay, Shehzad Poonawala.
The opposition would have been there.
Shehzad Poonawala. Then I really must bring in Gokul Chandran. Yes.
Padmaja. Padmaja, because the time is running out and I have great regard for Shashi Panja ji, so I hope she'll indulge me. I'll just take 30 seconds. Ma'am, please 30 seconds, ma'am. First, Shashi Panja ji has spoken about respect. Panja ji, with all due respect, here is a statement of Mamta Didi, and she has said, don't consider Modi as country's Prime Minister. Do you think this is respect? And I'm not saying this out of badle ki bhavna. I'm reminding you where you are coming from. You spoke about ego. Madam, Vishwa Bharati centenary event was taking place for Rabindranath Tagore, our Rabindranath Tagore. Mamta Didi did not go because Prime Minister was there. There was another event in Kolkata. Please, Panjaji, I did not interrupt you. Panjaji, I did not interrupt you. Panjaji, you are getting exposed. I did not interrupt you. Padmaja, your show is not...
Dr. Panja, 30 seconds,
Padmaja,
then you'll come back.
Please protect my time.
Go on.
Padmaja, I did not interrupt anybody. Padmaja, I did not interrupt anybody. Padmaja, I do not have a habit of interrupting. Please. Secondly, there was an event at Kolkata for Netaji. At that time, somebody chanted Jai Shri Ram, or they chanted some slogan in national interest. Mamta Didi stormed off. अरे किसका ईगो है जो नेशनल एम्बलम के वजन से भी ज्यादा है? I don't need to say this. Now coming to the main point. Shashi Panja ji, this is a country where even though you said Modi vaccine, BJP vaccine, nahi lenge vaccine, we have still given maximum vaccines to states like yours to ensure everyone gets vaccinated. We do not have any intention to be vindictive. We are saying when the Parliament House will be inaugurated, you and all the opposition leaders will be there. Today was a national emblem ka anavaran. You have skipped the stone laying foundation. You have no regret for that. You oppose this project. You have no regret for that. Today was a national emblem unveiling where the speaker and the deputy chairman was there. Today you are making a hue and cry out of it. It is not invitation. This is your political frustration, madam.
Okay, Dr. Nawal Kishore is also smiling, but I really must bring in Gokul Chandran at this point. Gokul Chandran, you know, to use a very loose analogy, this is one of those awkward moments where you have a friend and, you know, she wants to marry someone and you are like, no, the man is terrible, you know, he's a terrible person, don't go with him. And then when they eventually do get married, you say, arey, wedding photograph mein you are standing next to them and giving blessings. Aise nahi hota na. Either you think that the match is a terrible match And then when you have already called the match terrible, you can't be posing in the wedding pictures with a victory sign.
Good evening, Padmaja. India is a democratic country.
And all your examples, I will take it. But then just consider how many projects which the Congress or the other opposition parties have brought in were opposed by BJP. So when they come to power, when Mr. Modi came to power, did he stop visiting those places? Did he demolish that places? No. See, in a democracy, every opposition party has their points, has their view, has their opposition to any new projects, or they have their views. But after coming to power, they respect that. They respect what has been done by the previous government, or which is what is being done by the government. Yeah, of course, Modi is a megalomaniac Prime Minister we have.
Let's not throw about adjectives.
Yeah.
Say what you will, but back it with facts.
Fine, I'll complete it. But now you are talking about a bride and bridegroom, marriage, beautiful, ugly. What if it is a own mother and father? The own mother and father says this guy is ugly, don't marry him. And suddenly when she decides that no, I am going to marry this guy, will not the parents expect the invitation from their daughter to go and attend the marriage? It is a very simple logic, Padmaja. So when you oppose,
Tushar Sharma, Tushar Gupta, we've taken the analogy a step further. So the Congress party is the benevolent parents who are like, okay, my daughter is making a mistake, terrible match, but I'll go and bless it nonetheless.
Padmaja, take the example of Manrega.
You know, Padmaja, I used to study Hindi in school, and there was a Lakokti we used to study, Khisyani Birli Khamba Noche. This is what these opposition leaders come across as today. Congress says we are very worried during the pandemic about the expenditure, yet during the second wave it was their toolkit that surfaced, which was to embarrass India on the international stage. The TMC says that we were worried about the expenditure, we command respect. I want to tell the TMC spokespersons, the country is not West Bengal, where you'll bully people into respecting you. Respect is earned as an opposition. And look at the actions of Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Every time Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits West Bengal, do not talk about respect. My simple point, Padmaja, is for the last 2 years, none of these parties, no one in the opposition showed any intent or interest or integrity when it came to the Central Vista project. All they made it was a political punching bag. And today, when the celebrations are beginning, when the unveiling of the National Emblem, which is the starting progress as we move towards the inauguration of the entire Central Vista next year, now they are crying, now they are wishing why they are not a part of it. They were cursing it for the last 2.5 years, but now they want to be a part of the celebration. How does that
Dr. Nawal Kishore, I think आप इसको respond कर पाएंगे. खिसियानी बिल्ली खंबा नोचे बोल रहे हैं और दो जल्दी से आपको examples दे देती हूँ. 21 जून 2019 there was a dinner hosted by the Prime Minister for newly elected members of Parliament. This is one of those niceties which you are expecting today. He hosted it for everyone. आपके एमपीज ने बॉयकॉट किया, आपने कहा ये फालतू है, ये वेस्ट ऑफ मनी है, हम नहीं जाएंगे. उसके बाद इन 2020 नीतीश जी ने डिनर रखा उन्होंने ओथ टेकिंग सेरेमनी थी. दैट टाइम ऑल्सो द आरजेडी बॉयकॉटेड द ओथ टेकिंग सेरेमनी ऑफ नीतीश कुमार. दे सेड दैट पीपल्स वर्डिक्ट हैज बीन चेंज्ड by the JDU, we will not go. So when niceties were extended, you said हम नहीं जाएंगे क्योंकि हम अपोज करते हैं, ये पैसे की बर्बादी है. अब नहीं बुलाया है, अब आप कह रहे हैं हमें क्यों नहीं बुलाया है. तुषार गुप्ता कह रहे हैं खिसियानी बिल्ली खंबा नोचे.
कितना अच्छा लगा आपको, इनका आर्गुमेंट कितना अच्छा लगा. आपके डिबेट में एक ही चीज है कि आर्गुमेंट इज एनिमी ऑफ ट्रूथ. नीतीश कुमार ने नरेंद्र मोदी के सामने से थाली छीन लिया. वो नरेंद्र मोदी जी भूल गए, उनके साथ सत्ता चोरी का शासन में रहे.
सर मैं तो आपकी पार्टी के स्टैंड के बारे में बात कर रही हूँ. आप जेडीयू और बीजेपी की हिस्ट्री में क्यों चले गए? मैं तो आपसे सिंपली बोल रही हूँ. आपने आज कहा कि बेसिक डिसेंसी एक्सटेंड नहीं की गई. मैं आपको दो इंस्टेंसेस बता रही हूँ जहां बेसिक डिसेंसी वाज एक्सटेंडेड. खुद मोदी जी ने 2019 में आपको बुलाया था, कहा आइए डिनर खाइए क्योंकि आप सब आपका चुनाव हुआ है. आपने कहा हम नहीं जाएंगे, पैसे की बर्बादी है. अब आज आप क्यों कह रहे हैं कि हमें क्यों नहीं बुलाया?
बिल्कुल सही आपने कहा और यही आर्गुमेंट आप देंगे ही, क्योंकि इसके अलावा आपके पास कोई आर्गुमेंट नहीं है. यहाँ पर आपने शुरू किया, देखिए आर्गुमेंट जब डिबेट आपने शुरू किया इनविटेशन पे, आप चले गए इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ नेशनल एम्बलम पे, आप चले गए पूरे हिस्ट्री में, आप चले गए कोविड में. जब भी कोई अपोजिशन का प्रवक्ता बोलता है तो आप 10 बार उसे क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, और जब भी शहजाद पूनावाला, तुषार गुप्ता बोलते हैं आपके चेहरे पे कितनी खुशी होती है। ये देख के लगता है
अभी भी उतनी खुशी है।
आपका एजेंडा है, आपका एजेंडा है।
सर आपने मेरे सवाल का जवाब देने की जगह मेरा ही विश्लेषण कर दिया।
नहीं, आप देखिए जो डिबेट रहेगा, जिस तरह का डिबेट रहेगा उस पर तो टिप्पणी करना पड़ेगा ना। आप अगर कोई
सर पर मैं आपसे सिंपल पूछ रही हूँ। अच्छा चलिए छोड़िए, आपसे सबसे आसान सवाल पूछती हूँ मैं। आज एम्ब्लम अनवेल हुआ, अच्छा लगा आपको?
किसको खराब लगेगा?
सुंदर लगा?
खराब लगेगा क्या? पद्मजा जी को
सुंदर लगा ना? नवल किशोर जी
एम्ब्लम से
अच्छा लग रहा है ना? सुंदर लग रहा है ना सेंट्रल विस्टा?
सुनिए तो पहले आप देखिए, आप नेशनल एम्ब्लम से इस देश में किसी को समस्या नहीं है। समस्या उस व्यक्ति से है जिसके चरित्र में तानाशाही घुसा हुआ है, जिस दल को लगता है कि वही देश है, जिस संगठन को लगता है कि उसके अलावा कोई है ही नहीं, जिस प्रवक्ता को लगता है कि वो मोदी जी से भी ऊपर है, जिस पत्रकार को लगता है कि जो मैं बोल रही हूँ वही सही है। समस्या इससे है।
चलिए आई थिंक सबसे अच्छा नोट है जिस पे डिबेट को एंड करना है, क्योंकि खुद नवल किशोर जी ने बता दिया समस्या कभी एम्ब्लम नहीं था, समस्या शायद सेंट्रल विस्टा भी नहीं था, समस्या मोदी जी से है। और ये नवल किशोर जी ही कह रहे हैं। अब तो आप नहीं बुरा मानेंगे ना कि कुछ अलग कह रही हूँ, आप ही के शब्द यूज कर रही हूँ। चलिए ऑन दैट नोट, चलिए समस्या सॉल्व हो गई, सेंट्रल विस्टा बन रहा है। मे यू गेट अ गुड पार्लियामेंट एंड अ गुड सेंट्रल विस्टा विच आप लोग एंजॉय करेंगे। आप लोग सब जाते हैं वहां पे, हम तो कम ही जाते हैं। ऑन दैट नोट, थैंक यू वेरी मच ऑल जेंटलमैन, शशि पांजा, डॉक्टर शशि पांजा फॉर ज्वाइनिंग मी।